So, hi friends, good evening. Welcome to SQL Master YouTube channel. So, today I'm going to discuss with you is about some of the Informatica related questions and answers here. Okay, but before starting video, if you are not subscribed to SQL Master, kindly subscribe to SQL Master YouTube channel so that you are going to get the ETL testing videos. Okay, so let us start the video here. So this is what slide shows what I made here. So first question is how to use SQL in Informatica. Okay, so in Informatica Power Center, you can use SQL in different components and transformations to interact with databases and perform operations on data. Here are some ways to use SQL in Informatica. So first one is source qualified transformations. The source qualified transformation is used to read the data from relational database. You can write SQL queries in SQL query property of the transformation to retrieve specific columns, apply filters, and join multiple tables. The SQL query can be simple select statement or a complex query with joins, conditions, and aggregations. So second one is lookup transformation. The lookup transformation is used to retrieve data from database table based on a lookup condition. You can use SQL in the lookup transformation to define lookup source and specify lookup condition using SQL syntax. The SQL statement in the lookup transformation can include join conditions, filtering conditions, and sorting. So third one is SQL transformation. The SQL transformation allows you to write and execute SQL statements directly within the Informatica mapping. You can use transformation to perform SQL operations such as insert, update, delete, and select on target databases. The SQL transformation can be used for complex manipulations and transformations involving multiple tables. So fourth one is stored procedure transformations. The stored procedure transformation is used to execute stored procedures or functions in a database. You can write SQL code within stored procedure and call it from stored procedure transformations. This allows you to perform complex database operations and leverage of power stored in the procedure of mapping. So fifth one is pre and post SQL statements. Informatica Power Center provides the option to execute SQL statements before and after a session or a target load. These statements can be used for tasks like truncating the target table before loading data or updating audit information after a successful load. You can define pre and post SQL statements in the session properties. When using SQL in Informatica, it's important to ensure that your SQL statements are syntactically correct and optimized for performance. Pay attention to database specific syntax and best practices. Also consider parameterizing your SQL queries to make them more flexible and reusable. Okay. So second question is, what is source qualifier? The source qualifier transformation is a fundamental component of Informatica Power Center. It is used to extract data from source systems such as databases, flat files, and or XML files. The source qualifier represents the source definition within a mapping or performs essential tasks related to data extraction. Here are the key aspects and functionalities of source qualifier transformation. So data extraction. The source qualifier allows you to specify source database or file from which data needs to be extracted. It defines connection details such as database name, table name, file name, and query. So metadata retrieval. When you connect the source qualifier to source system, it retrieves metadata information such as column names, data types, and primary keys from the source. This metadata is then used for mapping the source columns to target columns. So filter and join conditions. The source qualifier allows you to define filter conditions to extract only the required rows from source. You can apply where clauses or use built-in filter conditions in the transformations. Additionally, it supports joining multiple source tables based on the join conditions. Then comes to sorting. This source qualifier provides options for sorting the source data based on the specified columns. Sorting is useful when the source data needs to be processed in a specific order, such as for maintaining referential integrity or performing efficient lookups. Default value holding. Next one. The source qualifier enables you to handle default values for columns that are not present in the source. You can specify default values for missing columns or Use system generated default values during data extraction. Source qualifier override. The source qualifier allows you to override the default query generated by the transformations. This provides flexibility to modify the query to meet specific requirements, perform complex joins, or add additional filter conditions. The source qualifier transformation acts as an interface between source data and Informatica mapping. It drives the data from the source and passes into subsequent transformations for further processing. It plays a crucial role in defining the structure, content, and conditions of the source data within an ETL process. So next question is how to convert flat file to database. To convert flat file to database using Informatica Power Center, you can follow these steps. So create a source definition. Open Informatica Power Center Designer. Create a new folder or use existing folder to store your mappings. Right click on the folder and select import source definitions. Choose appropriate flat file, that is example fixed width or delimited. Specify the file path and delimiter settings. Define the columns and their corresponding data types as per the flat file structure. Save the source definition. Create a target definition. Right click on the same folder and select import target definitions. Choose appropriate database connection and select the target table where you want to load the data. Define target table columns and their respective data types as per the database scheme. Save the target definition. So create mapping. Right click on the folder and select create mapping. Drag the source definition and target definition onto the mapping designer workspace. Connect output ports of the source definition to the corresponding input ports of the target definition. If necessary, add required transformations in mapping. That is like example, expression, filter, okay, to perform data manipulation or cleansing. Validate the mapping for any errors, warnings, resolve them. Create a session. Right click on the mapping and select create session. Configure the session properties including database connection details for the target database. Specify the target load type, that is example insert, update, delete based on your requirements. Set any additional session properties such as commit interval, error handling, logging options. Save the session and then create workflow. Right click on the folder and select create workflow. Drag the session created in the previous step onto the workflow designer workspace. Connect the session to the workflow. Configure the workflow properties such as workflow scheduling, dependencies, and recovery options. Save the workflow. So run the workflow. Validate the workflow for any errors or warnings and resolve them. Right click on the workflow and select start workflow to run it. Monitor workflow execution and check session logs for any errors or issues. Once the workflow completes successfully, data from the flat file should be loaded into the database table. By following these steps, you can convert a flat file into the database using Informatica Power Center. So these are the few questions, friends, what I want to discuss with you people to understand about the Informatica. So if you understood this properly, kindly like my video and share my video and subscribe to SQL Master YouTube channel. So I will be with you with some more new concepts about ETL testing. Till that, bye bye. Have a nice day. Take care, friends.